Hey guys, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome to another studio sessions. In this video, I'm going to be doing a digital painting time-lapse of a piece called Galaxy Mermaid, and it's pretty exciting. This one, oh boy. This was a fun one to do. I had actually started a thumbnail for this, not on a recording. I just had the idea and it was just coming to me. You know, sometimes when you're in the zone, you got to be in the zone and you just got to kind of roll with it and keep going. And I just didn't think to record it. So unfortunately that was what it was. But this one was a lot of fun. I don't do a lot of background work. That's not what I do professionally. I'm a character designer, and though it's something that I actually quite enjoy doing, layout and background stuff, it's not my forte, as it were. So I also thought it was important to spend more time on that portion of it. So this will be flying by, as it were. But definitely, if you guys have questions relating to any of the techniques you see me using or anything like that, please be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. Ask your questions. You can also hit me up on Twitter. That's Courtney Mermaid on Twitter. And don't forget to check me out on Patreon. I actually post these videos in advance, and I also post works in progress of these pieces and sneak peeks and that kind of thing over on my Patreon. I'm Vancouver Mermaid on Patreon. There will be links and everything, of course, in the description below. So I think an important thing that a lot of people don't know, and I wish you could actually see, it does pop up on occasion in the navigator window. If you guys use Photoshop, you'll know that's the little window in the top right-hand corner. Reference, guys. Reference is a thing. So the hands you see right now are not the hands that stay, because, oh my goodness, I actually had to take pictures. So now I've actually got the reference of my own hand up on my phone, and I'm actually drawing based off of my hand. Hands are really difficult, and it's really funny to me the number of people that don't actually use reference for hands, especially when we each have hands. Like, I mean, obviously there's exceptions to that. I don't mean to be rude or anything. I mean, the hands are there, the reference is there. I mean, Google it, check it out. Artists use reference, and I think that's probably what I'm going to talk about in this one. Though I am experimenting a little bit on my own here and trying a few different things, I did have a full page of reference of color ideas. I had different styles, posing, this kind of thing, just almost like a mood board, if you will, where I just wanted to get an idea. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm looking at my reference, and I'm kind of just sort of fleshing it out a little bit, trying to, in my mind, get what the final image will be like. That's typically how I work. It's not how everyone works, and not everyone in the animation industry works that way as well. But for me, I'm very much somebody who thinks a little bit abstractly, and I think a little bit more in color. So though I do pride myself in having a nice clean line, and I do like to work really hard on that, I feel like at a certain point, my thumbnail, if I can just see it in color and I can just get a bit of a grasp, it'll help me complete the process. Because I don't know if you're like this, but there are times when, oh my goodness, I will just leave a piece and just be like, okay, well, it's there, I'll finish it eventually, and then I never will. I have at least 3 other mermaid paintings that I've started, excuse me, that I've not yet finished, just out of frustration and not following and being true to like my process. Because everybody's got a way that they do things, and I feel like as long as the end result is solid and where you want to go with it, that's how you get there. I mean, the journey's, it's what you learn with time. It's how you relate to the world. So I think it's pretty rough when people give other people a hard time for their process. Everybody has a different way of getting somewhere. So anyways, but the biggest, I think, misconception, I'm sure I've mentioned this in other videos as well, is that artists just pull this out of their heads or other areas. That they just know where things go. And yes, of course, the more that you do this, the better you're going to get, the faster you're going to get, the more of a sort of a mental library you're going to have for yourself with these images already in there. So, but the key is that doesn't just float out of nowhere, right? I mean, I always do my thumbnail. I say always, like I always do this, right? But I do typically try and do my first drawing just from my head, just from my mind, my imagination, the essence, the inspiration. And then I will actually research if there's, even if there's something I'm a little bit skewy on, I'm a little bit not super sure about, I want to research, I want to reference. I want to make sure that I'm going to be accurate so that the haters don't come in and are all like, oh, well this, and oh, well that, and the next thing, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And it's not just for the haters with that. I just thought it was cute to say it like that. But it is really important to reference, and especially things that you don't have a lot of experience with, like hands for me. I mean, to this day, I've been a professional artist for years now, and I'm still, honest to goodness, it's still a thing sometimes. So, but I always make sure I have the reference. So that's the key. So if ever somebody's giving you a hard time and you're referencing something, and now by referencing, of course, to be clear, I do not mean tracing over, okay? Do not reproduce somebody else's art by tracing over it and claiming it to be your own, because that is the most uncool thing you could possibly do, and nobody will appreciate that. That is just, and you're not doing yourself any good doing it that way. What you need to do is, if you're going to look at somebody else's artwork as reference, you want to really break it down to yourself. You want to actually analyze it and look at it and try and determine what about it is appealing to you and why it's that way. So, you know, they always say, right, like, you don't necessarily need to be an artist to be a good judge of artwork, you know, but you do need to be able to feel the appeal, right? And what makes something, what makes something appealing. And of course, everyone's taste is going to be different, but it is quite an art form in itself, being able to accurately give somebody feedback on their work. But that's probably a topic for another day. I guess the main point of this one is that reference is important. And I was stressing so bad about making this video because of the background, and I actually think it turned out pretty well, all things considered. I played with a lot of different layers and a lot of different levels. Of course, there is going to be a coloring book page available for this one. Definitely check that out. I will include a link in the description below. I sell coloring book pages for all of these mermaid pieces that I do. Yes, on my Gumroad page. And and don't forget, if you like sneak peeks of these, I do post periodically as I'm working. I'll post photos onto my Patreon. So, excuse me. So definitely check me out on Patreon. And this was a really fun one. I'm looking forward to doing the next one. I'm a bit late with this one because I was away, so I had everything recorded, but I didn't have my voiceover. I'm just recording this now, about a week later. And now I have one more of these to do, and I don't know when on earth I'm going to get it done, but I've already got a bit of a rough started, so that next one's going to be a Victorian-style mermaid, which I'm really excited about, but I really struggled with the plan, because, of course, the Victorian-style mermaids don't necessarily wear mermaid tops, and if I don't want my video to get flagged, she has to have the boobs covered. Why can't we free the boobs, guys? It's just terrible. Anyways. Oh, yeah. So what kind of mermaids do you guys like? Do you like this sort of Peter Pan, Little Mermaid style, mermaid tales? Do you like something more realistic? This is sort of my take on things, a little bit similar to of course Ariel, but my kind of take on it. But yeah, for sure. And of course, as always, if you guys have any technical questions, I have had a few requests already to do a technical instructional video on what it is I'm actually doing and how I'm doing it. So I think I might do that one of these days. Might not be a bad idea since I've had a few requests. But please feel free to leave any technical questions in the description below. The questions I've had already are how to draw mermaids and a few specific painting tool questions. So I am planning on doing a how to draw mermaids tutorial that is going to happen, so stay tuned for that. So this is pretty much going to wrap it up here. If you like this video, please feel free free to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more mermaid related content. I do a lot of videos on this channel. If you guys are also working on any mermaid tales and have any mermaid tale related questions, feel free to check me out on my Tale Talk Tuesdays. That happens every Tuesday on my channel at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Here's the finished piece. I was so happy with how it turned out. So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I look forward to seeing you around. And yeah, that's it. Take care. Bye.